In this video, I previously went through the StagePlay US format in Scrivener 3 for Windows, and I said I would use this to show you how to customize a script format in detail. Hi, I'm Juliet, and today I'm going to try to convert the BBC US script format, which is what is used as a basis for the Scrivener 3 for Windows format, into this one, published online by the City Theatre Company, Philadelphia, as the standard American format. This is about the process of changing a script format, rather than the rights or wrongs of either format. Let's get started. So I'm eventually going to save my format under a different name. In the meantime, I can save the current workings as a new StagePlay US format for this project as I go. You'll see that when we get started. We'll begin with the relatively simple things first. The format we're converting to doesn't have any page breaks, but I'm not going to remove the ACT folder, which defines a page break, because the scene format template and numbering also rely on that folder. So I'm going to name it as what it is, Act 1, and remove the include in compile in the inspector. You could wait to do this in compile if you wish. I tried removing it from the template document, but it always came up as include in compile afterwards. If you know you're going to have several acts, I'd recommend duplicating the act folder before you start, as that's the easiest way to get the correct template main folder. Now, I can remove the page breaks in compile, but I discovered that leaving the front matter in the front matter folder forced a break. So I'm going to move it into the script folder before the first act. Also, so much of the front matter is not in the new format. So I'm going to start again and not use the predefined formatting for the character list and simply use dummy text. The formatting for this is quite simple, and this is how some formatting is created in other templates. Basically, it's just a reminder of what you should put, to be overtyped. Remember, this is a format we're creating at the moment, not an actual script. Okay, to change the format of the act and scene markers, I need to go to the templates folder and redo the new scene template. But the formatting for this is set in the script elements setting, which is under the Format Script Writing menu. You'll see all the elements listed on the left and their formatting options on the right under a number of tabs. So, scene heading. Now, I did find an issue with some things in this element later on, but I would still make all of these changes if for nothing else than it looks right on the editing page. Under Font, remove all caps and add underline. Under Paragraph, change alignment to centre and remove all the indents. Under Autocomplete, change the case of act and scene to initial caps only. Now, Set Description isn't in brackets, so uncheck parenthetical under Font. And under Paragraph, remove all the indents so that we can put it at the left-hand margin. All these formats are created with space before settings rather than after, so make the spacing before 0, as there's no line space on the template we're changing to. Now, in the new scene template, in the binder, move the margin marker to the left and redo the act and scene placeholders in the correct format. Delete any old format scenes and add new ones into your folders as required. Now let's go back and do the other changes we need to what will be the main text of the script. Character needs similar changes to scene heading. So you'll need to remove the indents and make it centered. Dialogue also needs indent removal. Stage direction needs the indent made much less. This isn't actually centered if you look at the instructions, it's just much less indented. So I'm changing it to 0.5 and removing the right indent. And I think that's it. Scene action and transition don't seem to be necessary here, as stage direction covers it, I think. But obviously these can be changed too, if you find it necessary. Let's see about printing, after I magically put in some dummy text to try it out. Before you go into compile, select everything as a scene in section type. It just makes things easier as you only have one section layout. But only do this if you do want a continuous layout. In compile, deselect the acts folder in the compile list, if you haven't already, and deselect front matter. Go into the script format by double-clicking on the central panel, or on the format list on the left, and remove page breaks from scenes, which you'll find under the separator option. Remove before and after, and give them single lines instead. If you want to change the font, it looks like the example is in Times, you can do a simple global change above the layout column. And let's look at the printout. This is where I found the problem. The act and scene titles are still in caps, even though they weren't in the manuscript, and I changed the element formatting. After a bit of investigation, I discovered the solution by once again going into the compile format and looking under replacements. Here, the replacement is in caps and is overriding what we did in the script settings. So simply overtype the replacement text in the right format. And now we have a workable script format. Let's compare it to the original. I think that's pretty good. If it were me, I'd put a little more space before the first act because it looks a little crowded, but that doesn't appear on the example. So time to save the format. Now you can save it to your templates list within Scrivener by choosing Save for use with other projects under Manage. But I'm going to save to File and put it into a folder where I can then add it to a project in the future using Load File, if I want. However, the problem with both of these is that they won't change the compile settings. You have two options. You can make the compile a My Project, so it appears in all projects. Or you could also save the whole thing as a complete new template to appear in your startup screen for new projects. But I'd save the settings to File as well as a backup. If you missed the original video about how to use the Stageplay US format, that's this video here.